When you lay down with somebody, right, and it's just completely just two people, it's as raw as it can be. It's the connection. It's the emotional connection.
The once uncheckable Brown dynasty is unraveling before our very eyes. And at the center of the collapse isn't a family member, but an unexpected, enigmatic figure, Monica. A faceless real estate agent with a hidden past and surprising influence, someone who has somehow become the most powerful force in Kody and Robyn's lives. As season 19 of Sister Wives unfolds, what began as subtle tension has erupted into full-blown betrayal, legal drama, and spiritual manipulation, leaving fans and even the Brown children questioning, who is Monica, and why has she become the cornerstone of Kody and Robyn's every decision? This isn't just a real estate story. It's the quiet invasion of a broken family by an outsider cloaked in professionalism and promises of stability. While behind the scenes, she may be orchestrating one of the most controversial power grabs in the show's history. The once cherished symbol of plural unity, Coyote Pass, has turned into an emotional and legal war zone. Christine walked away in clarity. Janelle stood firm on her rightful claim, and Meri, after years of emotional neglect, finally demanded recognition. But Kody, emotionally hollow and stripped of his plural family identity, is clinging to that land like it's his last tether to meaning. Coyote Pass is all I have left, he confessed in a tearful interview, his voice cracking under the weight of decades of crumbling relationships and failed dreams. But as viewers peeled back the curtain, a chilling truth emerged while Kody grieved. Robyn plotted, and at the heart of her quiet empire building stood Monica, not just as an advisor, but as an architect of control. No longer just a broker, Monica has reportedly assumed roles far beyond her license, becoming a confidant, planner, spiritual guest, even financial liaison, a title revealed through bombshell documents tied to revised deeds that stunned Janelle and Meri, who were never informed of her official authority. Monica's presence is so constant, so embedded, that neighbors in Flagstaff have noticed her car parked at the Brown residence more than the Brown kids themselves. She's there more than the children, one neighbor whispered. And not just for business. From shared dinners to prayer sessions, holidays to holidays. Monica has apparently become part of the daily fabric of Kody and Robyn's lives, fueling rumors that she is more than a professional associate, more than a friend. Perhaps something Robyn is grooming to take Christine's vacant spot in the spiritual hierarchy of the Brown household. Gabriel and Garrison, Janelle's sons, have allegedly voiced their deep discomfort with Monica's growing influence, calling her an enabler and questioning why someone so peripheral now has more voice in family matters than they do. She's not family, Gabriel reportedly snapped during filming. Dad treats her like wife number 4. The implications sent shockwaves through the fan-base Reddit threads ignited with theories, some suggesting Monica lives in the guest house, others going so far as to speculate she's already spiritually married to Kody, hidden behind layers of real estate dealings and prayer circles. Even Michael T., Christine's daughter, while careful not to name names, made cryptic remarks on her podcast that sent fans into overdrive. Some people are using land as leverage, not love, she said, a line that landed like a gut punch to longtime viewers. And as this storm brewed behind the scenes, Monica's name suddenly appeared on property documents, official, stamped, and backed by legal filings that not only suggested she had helped redesign ownership structures, but may have been instrumental in marginalizing the other wives' claims. Legal experts have chimed in, warning that if Monica helped facilitate changes without full transparency or consent from all stakeholders, it could trigger lawsuits, big ones. One family friend close to Janelle and Meri said they feel blindsided, like the rug was pulled from under them, and Robyn stood by while it happened, worse orchestrated it. Meri, never one to attack directly, took to Instagram with a post that many believe was aimed squarely at Robyn and Monica. Some people think God told them to take what isn't theirs. I say God doesn't work through lies. That single sentence sparked thousands of comments, many demanding to know who Monica is and what kind of real estate agent becomes a spiritual and financial anchor in a collapsing plural marriage. Digging into her past, not much is publicly available. She's a licensed broker. Yes, but with a mysterious specialization in polygamist communities, handling land deals in remote parts of Arizona and Utah. Some believe her ties to Robyn go back far longer than the show suggests. Potentially back to Robyn's pre-Kody days and connections to FLDS enclaves, where land, power, and faith often intersect in secretive, patriarchal arrangements. She's been in the shadows, said one source, watching, learning, waiting. And now she's making her move. Robyn, long known for her tearful control over Kody, has reportedly elevated her game, no longer just wielding emotional sway. She now appears to have seized fiduciary control, aligning with Monica to consolidate assets, exclude the other wives, and protect what remains of their fragile empire. But it doesn't stop there. According to insiders, Monica didn't just advise on land. She helped secure private appraisals, arranged secret surveys, filed quiet petitions, and even consulted on new business ventures tied to the Flagstaff home, which notably is only in Robyn's name. The image of Robyn praying and urging the family to wait for God's timing during episode 4 now feels chillingly performative, because behind those soft words, she was allegedly commissioning financial strategies to edge everyone else out. She's not praying, Janelle reportedly confided. She's plotting, and Kody, he's become a shell of his former self. Once the confident, if chaotic, leader of a plural household, he's now emotionally drained, paranoid, and completely devoted to Monica's counsel. She believes in our dream, he said during a late-season confession. She gets it. She's not trying to tear us apart, but many fans disagree, seeing his words as evidence of delusion, not clarity. Online communities erupted after this aired. Reddit flooded with comments like, "This is Christine 2.0 but scarier," and "Monica is the iceberg. The Browns are the Titanic." And it all comes to a dramatic head in the upcoming tell-all special. According to leaks from production, Monica makes a brief but unforgettable appearance in part 3. Poised, quiet, and unnervingly calm, she sits alongside Robyn while Meri delivers the question everyone's been dying to hear. What exactly is your role in our family's land? The room, we're told, goes dead silent. No producers cut in. No one speaks. And Monica, she gives a smile that sources describe as almost smug. That moment, insiders say, marks the final split, the moment everyone realizes that whatever was left of the Brown family is now just a memory. Christine, remarried and thriving, is watching from a distance. Janelle has hired legal counsel, and Meri, in her solitude, continues to post cryptic messages hinting at betrayal. But Kody and Robyn are locked in with Monica, and viewers can't tell if this is resilience or total delusion. It's the last alliance and the most dangerous. Because in the end, what's more destructive than betrayal from family? Betrayal masked as salvation. And the consequences are already snowballing. The financial bombshell finally dropped in late 2020 for Kody. Brown filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It was the final nail in the coffin for his crumbling legacy. Years of poor financial management, land disputes, and emotional chaos had left his accounts drained, and ironically, the dream of Coyote Pass, meant to be a unifying symbol, became his undoing. Family sources say the tipping point came after Robyn, now with unchecked control, advised Kody to borrow against their Flagstaff home to fund Coyote Pass developments, launch her failed jewelry business, and quietly pay off years of tax debt. The problem? The Flagstaff home is in her name only. Kody, desperate to salvage his image, his land, and his manhood, trusted her implicitly. She had the checkbook, one of Janelle's sons bitterly revealed. She made the calls. Investments backfired. Monica's financial strategies, some say were ambitious but reckless, built on fragile timelines and risky assumptions. Loans fell through, property values dipped, and when the dust settled, Kody was left with no money, no wives, and no legacy. Coyote Pass was never developed. The dream died in litigation, silence, and heartbreak. The empire is broken and standing. At the edge of the ruins are three women: Christine, Janelle, and Meri, each in their own way, survivors. But Kody, he's surrounded by just two people now. One tearful wife, one mysterious broker, and a deed that may have destroyed them all.
Done better as a sister wife? Sure, absolutely. But I think I did a lot of things that were great as a sister wife.
Coyote Pass once envisioned as the Brown family's sacred legacy. A sprawling utopia in the Arizona wilderness where each wife would build her own home, united not just in land but in faith, values, and a shared plural destinies. Now nothing but a bleak wasteland of shattered dreams, unpaid debts, legal threats, and broken relationships. It was supposed to be their future, the embodiment of decades of sacrifice and belief in a lifestyle most people couldn't understand. Every camera pan over those dusty acres in earlier seasons was filled with hope, laughter, and grand blueprints. But now that same land is a haunting reminder of what was lost. A vision, a family, a promise. The soil hasn't seen foundation. Poured, but it's soaked in emotional fallout, betrayal, and financial ruin, with season 19 escalating to become the most explosive in Sister Wives history. Fans are witnessing not just an emotional collapse, but a full-blown legal and financial implosion, a dynasty being reduced to rubble. As Kody files for Chapter 13, Bankruptcy, Robyn faces tough questions. Monica rises mysteriously to center stage, and the ex-wives pursue independence. The story of the Browns has evolved from spiritual pursuit to courtroom drama. But at the epicenter of it all, it's quietly pulling strings and appearing in almost every strategic move, stands someone who no one expected would ever matter so much: Monica. The elusive real estate broker who now appears to hold more sway in the Brown household than the family itself. In a stunning turn of events, as the family fractured and emotions ran high, Kody and Robyn didn't turn to a therapist, a spiritual advisor, or even a legal expert. They turned to their broker. Monica, a woman barely known to fans, is now reportedly the couple's closest confidant. And some insiders believe her influence is not only personal and emotional, but deeply financial, spiritual, and possibly even marital in some shadowy way. While the rest of the Brown family keeps Kody at arm's length, Christine long gone and remarried, Janelle putting up fierce resistance, and Meri finally stepping into her power. Kody has become completely reliant on Monica's presence and guidance, often referring to her as someone who understands the dream and never gave up on us. It's a stunning psychological shift, from the self-assured patriarch of a plural empire to a man hollowed out by loss, clinging desperately to the only two people who haven't walked away, Robyn and Monica. As season 19 unfolds, the carefully spun tale of unity and legacy is unraveling thread by thread. Coyote Pass, once the symbol of hope, is now a battlefield of legal claims, appraisals, and bitter emotional divides. Christine's name is no longer on anything. Janelle has lawyers drawing lines in the dirt, and Meri is quietly but firmly demanding her due. Meanwhile, Kody sees the land as the last remnant of his identity, tearfully telling producers it's all he has left. But Robyn's strategy seems colder, more calculated, because while she preaches patience and prayer to the family, behind closed doors, she and Monica have allegedly been orchestrating a complex series of property reassignments and financial repositioning to strip the other wives of legal footing. Sources close to production claim the two have held private meetings, commissioned land surveys without family-wide consent, filed quiet amendments to deeds, and consulted on strategies that would result in Kody and Robyn having full control. of the Landan Act that legal analysts now say could leave them vulnerable to lawsuits from Janelle and Meri. The scandal hit fever pitch when updated documents revealed Monica's name listed as a financial liaison, shocking the wives who had never been informed of her involvement beyond her role as a broker. Meri's cryptic post, not long after God doesn't work through deceit, sent fans into a frenzy. Online communities speculated wildly. Was Monica a legal proxy, a secret spiritual wife, or a handler brought in to help Robyn consolidate what remains of the Brown family fortune? Theories spiraled, fed by little public information. Monica, despite being ever present in this unfolding saga, remains a mystery publicly known only as a broker with experience in Arizona and Utah. Polygamous communities. Some insiders claim that Robyn's association with her stretches back years, possibly to religious groups from her past before she entered the Brown family. This adds to the unease as fans begin to see Robyn's long-standing emotional control over Kody evolve into something far more sinister. Financial domination aided by Monica's strategic acumen. The community that once felt like a sacred family is now a chessboard. And Robyn and Monica are moving the pieces while the rest of the family watches helplessly or fights back. Neighbors have reported seeing Monica at the Flagstaff home more frequently than the Brown children. And her integration into the family has grown alarmingly deep. Family dinners, religious meetings, private therapy sessions. Janelle's sons, especially Gabriel and the late Garrison, were reportedly furious over her constant presence, with Gabriel telling producers that Dad treats her like wife number 4. Christine's daughter, Michael T., hinted during a podcast that someone had been coaching Robyn to claim more land than she's owed. A comment many fans believe was directed squarely at Monica. The emotional damage isn't limited to the older generation, it's trickling down to the next, fracturing relationships permanently. And Monica's cameo in the upcoming Talal is said to deliver one of the most jaw-dropping moments in the franchise's history. When Meri confronts her directly on stage about her role in Coyote Pass, Monica's composed, almost icy response stuns the room into silence. According to producers, it was the moment even the most loyal viewers realized that the Brown family was finished as a unit. Christine has built a new life with her new husband, David Woolley. Janelle is preparing legal action behind the scenes, and Meri, though still reeling, is publicly healing. But Kody, Robyn, and Monica are clinging to each other in a dynamic that feels less like faith and more like desperation. Their triangle has become a fortress, shutting out not just legal accountability, but emotional reconciliation. As viewers, we're not just watching a family fall apart, we're witnessing the construction of a new, unnerving inner circle, one that now bears the weight of lawsuits, betrayal, financial collapse, and spiritual manipulation. And that collapse is no longer just emotionalized, quantifiable. Kody Brown's Chapter 13 bankruptcy has now been confirmed in court records, exposing a life buried under debt, mismanagement, and unfulfilled promises. TLC checks are no longer what they once were, with declining ratings, fewer endorsements, and massive expenses tied to homeschooling, legal fees, and Robyn's lifestyle. Kody has no remaining stable income. The dream of passive wealth through property is gone. And at the center of that, financial implosion. Risky decisions made at the advice of Robyn and allegedly Monica. Following the exit of the other wives, Kody became emotionally and financially dependent on Robyn's, so that when she advised him to reinvest in the Flagstaff house and Coyote Pass, he did so blindly, mortgaging their home a second time. Notably, that property is in Robyn's name alone. The cash was poured into construction prep, relaunching a failed jewelry business, and settling outstanding tax debts. None of it paid off. Contractors were never paid. Development never broke ground, and now Kody's credit is in ruins. Was robbing Peter to pay Paul, a production source stated? And Robyn was the one holding the checkbook. Some insiders even allege that Robyn encouraged Kody to seize full control of Coyote Pass. pushing him to absorb Janelle and Meri's shares under the guise of protecting the legacy. But many believe the real motive was to secure full ownership. That scheme has now backfired catastrophically. Monica's role in that process is under intense scrutiny, not just from fans, but possibly from legal authorities. With assets frozen, lawsuits looming, and bankruptcy proceedings in motion, the once sprawling dream of the Brown family is reduced. 2 fragments: a dusty piece of land no one can build on, spiritually divided group of women, and a man who gambled everything on loyalty only to find that trust, when misplaced, can be more destructive than betrayal. In the end, as season 19 nears its final episodes, fans are no longer asking whether Kody will rebuild the dream. They're asking if the dream ever truly existed. And Monica, once invisible, is now the face of everything that went wrong. Prayers have ended. The secrets are out. And the final question echoing through every Reddit thread, podcast, and tell-all clip remains hauntingly unresolved. Did Kody lose everything because he believed in love war? Because he believed the wrong people?
It took me many years to figure out. You know, you're gonna get into your life and things are gonna get really hard and you'll be like, okay, we gotta just trudge it out. It's gonna get better, and you get really lost.
Christine once said it best: Kody may have always been careless with money, but it was Robyn who handed him the match that set the financial house ablaze. In a scathing interview, she pointed out the obvious: the truth fans had suspected for years. Kody Brown, once the figurehead of a plural family empire, was never a savvy provider. But it wasn't until Robyn's influence became dominant that his reckless spending turned catastrophic. Now, the court records speak louder than any interview or family feud. A staggering $1.88 million in debt, including nearly $750,000 in mortgages, over $230,000 in credit card debt, close to $200,000 owed to contractors, a crushing $300,000 in back taxes, and hundreds of thousands more in unpaid loans and medical expenses. Meanwhile, his monthly income is a pathetic echo of his former prosperity, less than $4,000 a month against $11,000 in outgoing bills. This is not just a financial decline. This is an empire in free fall. As the news of the bankruptcy filing exploded across the internet, the ex-wives wasted no time weighing in. Janelle posted a razor-sharp tweet suggesting she finally had clarity. Meri offered a cryptic quote about seeing people for who they truly are. And Christine, ever blunt, laughed in a live stream and declared, "He always said I was bad with money that's rich, or not rich anymore, I guess." But it wasn't just the ex-wives who reacted with fire. The children, some of whom have long held quiet resentment, erupted on social media. Gabriel tweeted, not shocked, "He never invested in us either," while McKelty posted a cheeky TikTok flashing a Monopoly bankruptcy card that had fans cackling with both glee and disbelief. The family's fall has not just been public hits, become personal for every member, who was once told they were building something sacred. Production leaks suggest the bankruptcy will become a major storyline in the back half of season 19. In one unseen scene, Kody is heard shouting, throwing documents across the kitchen, and blaming Robyn for the mess. Robyn, allegedly devastated, retreats to the bedroom and refuses to film for several days, her carefully maintained composure finally cracking. TLC executives, once reliant on the Browns as a dependable ratings machine, are now reportedly reassessing the future of the show. Ratings are slipping, viewers are losing faith, and producers are exploring spin-offs, most notably one focusing on Christine and David's new life, something more stable, positive, and far from Kody's collapsing house of cards. Robyn, terrified at the prospect of being cut off, is said to have begged executives for a second chance, offering ideas for a reboot centered around rebuilding after bankruptcy. But the fans aren't buying it, and it seems neither is Kody. He's been denied small business loans, considered selling personal memorabilia, and even reportedly walked into a local dealership seeking a job before backing out. Robyn, clinging to fading relevance, has been trying to relaunch her jewelry line on TikTok, pulling in old church acquaintances and hoping for a miracle, but fan trust appears to be permanently broken. Once a polygamous patriarch of a grand televised family, Kody is now a bankrupt, isolated relic of failed promises. Once sister wives offered America a romanticized image: one man, 4 women, a dozen children, all bound by love, faith, and communal strength. But as the curtain pulls back, we now see the cost of that illusion. The reality was always far messier. Jealousy simmered beneath the surface. Debt accumulated like rot behind a pretty facade. And the image of shared prosperity was little more than a lie propped up by TLC checks and manipulated family finances. Janelle and Meri, once the backbone of the plural dream, are now left scrambling to survive. They trusted Kody, they gave him decades. And in return, they're now facing the same mountain of uncertainty as the fans watching from home. Meri invested nearly everything she had into her Utah bed and breakfaster, place fans initially saw as her triumph, her escape, but the reality was far grimmer. She poured in family money, and with it came unpaid taxes, legal questions tied to the Brown family trust, and no sign of the financial support Kody once promised. He said he'd help cover taxes, support renovations, but those promises evaporated like smoke. The only thing he supported, one source says, was Robyn's credit line. Meanwhile, Janelle, the family's budget hawk, the woman who handled bills and tracked every dime, found herself left with nothing. No house, no property, no savings. "I believed in him," she sobbed during a heart-wrenching season 18 confession. "I thought I was building a life, but when I needed something back, there was nothing left." Fans were stunned. How could she, of all people, be left with nothing? The answer lies in a family system that was never as equal as it appeared. Kody and Robyn, once the love story of the show's latter seasons, now look more like co-conspirators in a slow-motion betrayal. Leaked financial documents indicate that while the family claimed a shared bank account, Robyn's household received over 70% of the pooled money during 2023 to 2024 used for mortgage payments, home upgrades, private schooling, and everyday expenses. Meanwhile, Janelle and Meri scraped by with less than 10%. Despite having children of their own and legal obligations piling up, Kody's defense, Robyn has the youngest children. She needs more support. But for Janelle and Meri, the silence is no longer enough. Both women are now considering litigation. After decades of unpaid labor child rearing, homeschooling, and contributions to property, they're demanding their share, especially of Coyote Pass, the land that was supposed to unite them, now serving as the symbol of their betrayal. Janelle, especially, was all in on the Coyote Pass dream. She lived in an RV, funded water lines, conducted surveys, and sacrificed her comfort for the vision. Then Kody told her the lot she believed was hers was never actually assigned. He gaslit her, says one insider. Made it seem like she misunderstood, when in fact, he and Robyn had been quietly consolidating ownership. Meri's case is no better. She'd planned a spiritual retreat cabin, a home base on her slice of the land, but her name appears nowhere on recent ownership documents. They were erased financially and emotionally while Robyn's mansion remained untouched. A 5-bedroom Flagstaff estate, reportedly worth over $900,000. Fully furnished and allegedly renovated using family and TLC funds. While Janelle lived in an RV and Meri mortgaged her future, Robyn played queen in a castle. TikToks comparing. The mansion's 2 trailers went viral. Viewers finally saw the inequality they'd suspected for years. Even church acquaintances have weighed in, anonymously claiming that Kody's focus was never really on faith or fairness but control. First, it was about collecting wives. then about chasing fame. Now it's about hoarding power, money, and Robyn. And Robyn's public image is unraveling fast. Though she's insisted she never meant to hurt anyone, production insiders paint a different picture. She knows, one source claims. She knows everything. She's orchestrating the finances. This is her family now, and everyone else is background noise. In one coming season, 19 episode, she's shown telling Meri, "You could have had more if you stayed." Meri's icy reply, "More lies? No thanks." The cracks in Kody and Robyn's relationship, once so carefully hidden, are beginning to show. As Janelle and Meri begin rebuilding their lives working side jobs, relying on kids, and reestablishing personal identities, Kody huddles with Robyn in a shrinking world of denial. And even that sanctuary may soon collapse. Auditing Kody over years of unpaid taxes, dating back to 2020, with some filings linked to Robyn's expenditures. Sources say Kody has no viable financial future. The bankruptcy, the lawsuits, the loss of TLC security, all of it paints a man at the end of the line. They thought they were untouchable, said one insider, but now they're just two.